It's getting dark. In an hour, it'll be night.
Yeah. You want to go out?
No, I don't think so.
What do you want to do?
Hmm.
You want to hear one of my stories?
Yes, if you don't mind.
Yeah. I think I actually have a good one.
Mm-hmm.
When I was sitting in the chair by the window reading that novel that I found,
Mm-hmm.
I must have fallen asleep for a second because I thought I saw two figures slipping past along the outside wall. And then this whole story just kind of came to me at once, like I was remembering it. And I woke up and I picked up the novel to see if the characters were in there, but yeah, there's no trace of them, so I don't know where it came from. I don't know if I dreamed it or what, but anyway, I'll tell it to you. It starts like this. It's night. There's a young man, 20s, maybe younger, with dark hair and a delicate build. He's walking down a broad white path that runs through the middle of this large moonlit garden. Everybody's gone to bed for the night, but his room is dark and stuffy, and I feel like there's something strange and appealing about that summer night. So he goes out and he's walking in the garden, and he feels this urge to say something into the night, or to raise his hand and close his eyes for a long time. He seems to have some mysterious familiarity with this summer night. Something that calls for a gesture or a greeting. And then an extraordinary thing happens. The gravel beside him crunches, and as he turns, he sees a tall white form. It's bright and fluttering, and it's coming towards him. And in astonishment, he feels strong and yet caught without any violence in a woman's embrace. Reeling, he feels the stranger's open mouth, like a fruit against his own quivering lips. Hesitantly, almost as if he's asking a question, his arms go around the stranger's body, and suddenly he's intoxicated and he holds it close to his own. He thinks of nothing, and everything flickers in the air like sparks. He has no idea how long this lasts for. And then all at once she's gone, and he just stands there. He tries to think who she could have been. He goes through everybody that he's met that day at the hotel with his family, but no one seems at all like her. But tomorrow he'll figure out. A glance or a spark glimpse between someone's eyelids, secret pressure of a hand, something will tell him everything he needs to know tomorrow.
And does it?
No, he spends all day staring at other guests. But when evening comes, he's no closer to figuring out who it was.
And when evening comes, it happens again.
Yes, it happens again. This time, he asks her who she is, and he tries to get a good look at her. But she stays silent, and she keeps her face in the shadows. But as they embrace, he feels something metal hanging from a bracelet around her wrist. So he presses his arm into it, hard enough to leave a mark. And when he gets back, the mark it's faded some, but he can tell that what he's looking for is something like an 8-sided coin. So tomorrow he'll know everything.
And does he?
He's one of the first people at breakfast, and he's joined, among others, but he's joined by the trio of sisters, Margot, Elizabeth, and Kitty. And he sees with a start that all of them are wearing bracelets. So he asks Kitty to pass him the tea, and as she does, he sees that there's something dangling from the bracelet, so he freezes. But it's only a green stone in a round setting. So next, he asks Margot to pass him the sugar. And there, his hand shakes a little as he takes it. There's this old silver coin, and it's an 8-sided one. So all day, he runs around after her, trying to talk to her, but she just keeps blowing him off. She's even a little bit rude to him, and he's angry. He's really confused, and he's actually afraid that that evening she won't show up again.
And does she?
She does. She does. It's different this time, though. There's something urgent, or even a little cruel, in his gestures. And finally, in the midst of it, he works up the courage to say her name. Says Margot.
And
she freaks out. She pulls away. And she seems to be crying. Before he can say anything else, she runs off. But this time, he decides to go after her. He finds her window, and he thinks that he sees a flickering of white shape moving inside. He jumps at his chance. He starts to climb the tree up to her. Yeah. But just before he gets there, he falls.
Oh.
So then begins this period of convalescence, which he spends lying in bed and dreaming of Margot, hearing her voice in the rustling of the leaves outside, seeing the image of her face float up before him whenever he closes his eyes.
And does she come to see him?
Yeah, she does. But all three of the sisters do. And they're all kind to him, but nothing more. One evening, though, he hears the door open, and he closes his eyes, pretending to be asleep. He smells a familiar perfume, and he feels somebody perch on the end of the bed. And then a hand touches his carefully. And he opens his eyes a little, and he sees that octagonal coin hanging from the rand. And then he feels her face come close to his. And he opens his eyes, and he lies there looking at her motionless. It's Elizabeth. And it all passes rapidly through before his mind's eyes. It's all concentrated into 1 second. He thinks about Margot's surprise and the haughty way she would treat him. And he thought about Elizabeth's smile and that strange look of hers touching him like a discreet hand. No, there is no mistaking it.
And the bracelet?
He feels this last moment of hope, like maybe Margot just lent it to her today or yesterday. I think he probably knows that this can't be true, but he feels like he has to ask. Some old souvenir, she says. Our uncle gave it to us. Us. He holds his breath. Margot and me. Kitty didn't want one, I don't know why. He turns his head away, and they're both silent for a while. And then she tells him to get well soon, and she leaves. And he feels everything darken right before his eyes. He tries to conjure up Margot's face like he's done during all these lonely hours of his illness. But the shadow of Elizabeth always comes in front of it. Elizabeth with her yearning eyes. The next morning, Margot comes to visit him, and he can't even look at her, can't even hear her with this loud buzzing in his temples. And it's only after she leaves that he gazes again with longing at her figure. And in this moment, he feels like he's never loved her more. But then Elizabeth visits in the afternoon, and there's this gentle familiarity in her hands. They sometimes brush against his. Her voice is very quiet. It's slightly sad. He doesn't know quite what he feels for her. And he hardly dares look at her for fear of lying to her. She starts coming every day now, and she stays longer too. But they will never talk about those hours in the dark in the garden. One bright afternoon, he lies there looking at her from his bed, which lies in the shadows. He sees her smiling face, radiant with light that no longer reaches him. He forgets everything, and he kisses her. She caresses his hair, and then she tells him quietly that she knows it's Margot he loves. He doesn't dare lie to her. He says nothing. And she kisses him once more, this very light, almost sisterly kiss on the lips. And then she goes without a word. Less than a week later, he and his family are leaving. When they pulled out of the driveway, and when he saw Margot turning indifferently away to go up the steps, when Elizabeth's eyes suddenly shone with moisture. This full extent of his new experience just overwhelmed him so entirely that he gave himself up to tears. And the next morning he was in London. The years passed, and he became one of those men who can't figure out a way to relate to women. It's because in that one moment, the sensation of both loving and being loved had united in him so entirely that he no longer felt the urge to look for what had fallen into his trembling and anxious, boyish hands. He doesn't think about what happened that summer much, but every once in a while, the memory of those two women suddenly and mysteriously flare up, as if they were distant shadows, and everything came back to him so forcefully that his entire later life seemed just like a dream or an illusion compared to its reality. You asleep?
No. Just thinking.
It's so dark now I can't tell if you're smiling or you're sad. Which one is it?
Deep breath and out. Start again. Soft saying I hope those hopes again. Sailing my mind to visions of you and I again. One touch and I feel those fields again. Watch time as it heals all